I was interested in doing a film that could affect kids, and I'd studied mythology and everything, and I decided I'm going to make a modern myth.
You know, I made the decision to sell the company with Star Wars. I made that decision because I looked at the future, I looked at the fact that I was going to have a baby, I looked at the fact that I was married, and I looked at the fact that I wanted to build a museum, and I looked at the fact that I wanted to make experimental films.
What became of the Star Wars legacy after George Lucas sold it to Disney? Why did Lucas once compare Disney to white slavers? And what could he have meant by such a shocking claim? Is Kathleen Kennedy steering the franchise toward an exciting future? Or is her leadership driving fans away from the galaxy we all love? And what's behind the rumors that Bob Iger might sell Star Wars altogether? Today, we're uncovering the controversies, scandals, and untold truths behind Disney's handling of this iconic saga. This isn't just the story you know, it's the one they don't want you to hear. Can the magic of Star Wars still be restored? Or has Disney pushed it beyond the breaking point? Let's dive in. George Lucas, the mastermind behind Star Wars, created his saga as a modern myth, a timeless tale meant to inspire future generations. But in 2012, he made a decision that still weighs heavily on him. When I sold Star Wars to Disney, I believed I was entrusting it to people who would cherish its legacy. Instead, it feels like I handed them my child, only for them to turn it into a corporate product, Lucas admitted in a rare interview.
So my life was going on a different track. I noticed the last few movies that I'd made were costing the company a lot of money, and I didn't think that was fair to the people that worked there or the company. And so I had made a decision to move ahead on the next Star Wars series, and we were starting to do that.
So I was interested in doing a film that could affect kids, and I'd studied mythology and everything, and I decided I'm going to make a modern myth.
Then came the infamous moment he referred to Disney as white slavers, a shocking choice of words that revealed his deeper frustration. Why would someone of Lucas's stature say something so provocative? As he later explained, they discarded my stories, ignored my vision, and transformed Star Wars into something I can hardly recognize. Disney, unsurprisingly, never publicly addressed Lucas's remarks. However, insiders claim that Lucas's original plans for the sequel trilogy, focused on the mystical wills, were outright rejected by Kathleen Kennedy and her team. Could this have been the first step in Star Wars' controversial downfall? Kathleen Kennedy, a name that divides Star Wars fans like few others. Her time as Lucasfilm president has been defined by bold choices, polarizing stories, and what many describe as a relentless agenda. Star Wars fans are incredibly passionate, Kennedy once said, but nostalgia can't drive the future of storytelling. Yet many fans feel she hasn't just moved past nostalgia, she's demolished it. The sequel trilogy is infamous for sidelining beloved icons like Luke Skywalker, Han Solo, and Leia Organa to spotlight new characters. While fresh faces can bring new life to a story, critics argue these additions lacked the depth and connection that made the originals so memorable. Even Mark Hamill, the face of Luke Skywalker, voiced his own reservations during The Last Jedi's production. "This isn't my Luke," Hamill admitted. "I had to think of him as an entirely new character because that's how they wrote him." Kennedy, however, stands firm. "We're creating a new Star Wars for a new generation," she declared, but at what cost? Under her leadership, the franchise has been accused of placing political messaging above compelling storytelling. From Rey's divisive arc to the polarizing themes in The Last Jedi, Kennedy's decisions have driven a wedge between the franchise and a significant portion of its fan base. Behind the scenes, the picture grows even murkier. Insiders describe her leadership style as, at best, unyielding. "You don't argue with Kathleen," one anonymous director shared. "It's her way, or you're out." This rigid approach might explain the numerous creative disputes and high-profile project cancellations during her tenure, and rumors swirl that Kennedy is determined to leave Lucasfilm only after delivering one final major success, regardless of the fallout. When Disney unveiled plans for a new trilogy, fans were over the moon. The Force Awakens, directed by J.J. Abrams, shattered box office records, earning over $2 billion. But was it more than just a trip down memory lane? J.J. had a clear mission: to bring Star Wars back to its roots, said one insider. Still, many felt the story played it too safe. Then came The Last Jedi, written and directed by Rian Johnson, a movie that split the fan base in two. Luke Skywalker's divisive portrayal became a flashpoint. "I had my disagreements with Rian," Mark Hamill admitted, "but I had to trust the process, even when I didn't get it." The controversy only deepened with The Rise of Skywalker, a film widely seen as a casualty of behind-the-scenes turmoil. Critics labeled it disjointed, and fans questioned whether Disney ever had a clear roadmap. "How do you conclude a saga when there was never a solid plan?" asked a Lucasfilm employee involved in the trilogy. "They were making it up as they they went along. The Mandalorian became Disney's saving grace, a rare gem that brought Star Wars fans together across generations. But why did its success feel like an exception in a lineup riddled with mediocrity? Favreau and Filoni understood the fans better than anyone. A former Lucasfilm executive explained they respected the lore. This starkly contrasts with the Book of Boba Fett. "We didn't even know what story we wanted to tell," admitted a production insider. "It was Boba Fett, so we assumed fans would show up regardless." Then came Obi-Wan Kenobi, a series centered on one of Star Wars' most beloved characters. Yet it left many viewers disappointed. It felt rushed, one critic noted, like they banked on nostalgia instead of delivering a meaningful story. Meanwhile, The Acolyte and other upcoming projects remain bogged down by delays and a noticeable lack of fan enthusiasm. Is Disney chasing quantity at the expense of quality? When Disney acquired Lucasfilm for $4 billion, it was hailed as both a cultural triumph and a financial jackpot. But a decade later, Disney has poured billions more into Star Wars projects, and the returns haven't always met expectations. While the sequel trilogy brought in billions at the box office, merchandise sales, the true lifeblood of Star Wars success, plummeted. Fans didn't connect with the new characters, admitted a former Disney marketing executive. The toys just gathered dust on store shelves. Disney Plus initially saw massive streaming numbers, but recent reports reveal billions in losses. "We bet everything on Star Wars anchoring Disney Plus," a financial analyst explained, "but you can't build a stable foundation on shaky ground." Could these financial struggles be fueling the whispers that Disney might sell Star Wars? When Gina Carano was fired from The Mandalorian, Lucasfilm framed it as a values-driven decision, but many fans saw it as a politically charged move, sparking immediate backlash. Gina was one of the show's most loved cast members. A crew member shared, "Her firing felt like a betrayal to the fan base." Rumors of Carano quietly winning a lawsuit only intensified the controversy. Did this decision reveal deeper fractures within Lucasfilm? If you push away your core audience, how can you expect their continued support? Carano herself questioned in a recent interview. Meanwhile, Bob Iger's return as Disney CEO has revived rumors of a potential Star Wars sale. But why would Disney part with such a prized brand? Star Wars isn't the surefire cash cow it used to be, a Disney insider noted. Selling might be their way to cut losses and move forward. Speculation has named potential buyers like Apple or Amazon, but would new ownership bring stability or even more turbulence? "If Disney sells, it's an admission of failure," said a financial analyst. But for fans, it could be the lifeline the franchise desperately needs. Rumors suggest Kathleen Kennedy is aiming for one final big success before her potential retirement. Her chosen focus? The divisive Rey movie. Rey is a polarizing character, admitted a Lucasfilm insider, and doubling down on her story feels like a gamble Kennedy is willing to make. Reports also hint at ongoing clashes with directors over creative control. "She's determined to leave on her own terms," said an anonymous source, even if those terms don't align with what fans are asking for. While The Mandalorian has shown that Star Wars still holds incredible potential, can Disney replicate that success consistently? "We have to listen to the fans," Jon Favreau remarked. "They're the heart and soul of Star Wars." Some believe returning to George Lucas's original vision could revitalize the franchise, while others argue that a complete leadership overhaul is essential. "Star Wars isn't just a brand," said a devoted fan. "It's a cultural icon, but if they keep shutting us out, it's going to lose everything that made it special." Star Wars stands at a pivotal moment. It can either reclaim its legacy or become a relic of what could have been, said a Hollywood insider. Could Kathleen Kennedy's rumored departure mark a new beginning, or is Bob Iger's potential sale the franchise's last chance? What happens when art is reduced to a product? For George Lucas, selling Star Wars wasn't just a financial transaction, it was a shift from storytelling to corporate strategy. "They care about shareholders, not stories," Lucas reportedly confided in a private discussion. This corporate focus has led to what fans describe as content overload. "Disney's strategy of churning out movies and series has drained Star Wars of its magic," said a veteran Hollywood critic. "Once every Star Wars release was a cultural event. Now it's just another streaming drop." The relentless push for more isn't unique to Star Wars. It reflects an industry more invested in profits than passion. But is it too late to reverse the trend and restore what made Star Wars legendary? Star Wars fans have always been deeply passionate, but Disney's leadership has created a divide unlike anything before. "Some fans embrace the new direction," said a popular YouTuber, while others feel like they've been pushed out of the galaxy they grew up with. Kathleen Kennedy has brushed off criticism, labeling detractors as a vocal minority. But is that an oversimplification? "The fans are the soul of Star Wars," Jon Favreau countered. "Without them, the galaxy doesn't exist." From viral campaigns like #RestoreTheLucasCut to boycotts of new releases, fans are making their frustrations impossible to ignore. The question remains, does Disney hear them?